Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. This is a requested video. It got a lot of upvotes I saw in the comment section. Someone was asking, what are some things that I've learned either too late or that I've learned the hard way? It's gonna get, not like hyper personal, like I'm not gonna give you all the stuff, but I will definitely answer this question. I have an obsession, whether I want to agree with it or say it out loud or not. I have an obsession with being successful, and I'm not really sure where it comes from. It must have, most things in our lives stem from when we were younger. I did grow up, one would say, poor in public housing. I did not have a lot of money. My family did not have a lot of money. So I think this is kind of something that drives me, but it's also become so much so that you'll see. The first thing that I would say, I learned not too late, but I learned the hard way, is that it's okay to take care of myself. And I say this because a lot of times I see a lot of other financial gurus, a lot of other people on YouTube who tell you to always make videos, to always post, to always give it not 100, you have to give it 110%. And they're even, I'm sure you've seen the photos on Instagram of the really successful people on the yacht, and they're like, I take no days off. And it's like, no, you actually have to at some point. It got to the point where I believed this philosophy for a while. This was many years ago, so I've gotten better at it, but I still want to be successful, and I don't really know exactly what that means. I mentioned before in another video, I have a number in my head of how rich I would like to be. But this also, does money then equate to success? Why not other things? These are very deep questions that we can all kind of go into. One of my things that I do is I found that I care more about others than myself, which is a problem because a lot of times I won't take care of myself. Like, I'm not like derelict walking down the street with like holes in my shoes. Yeah. But it's more like I make sure that everything that I do is to the betterment of other people, but at the expense of myself and my own time. So a lot of times I've had a lot of friends in the past who I would see them and hang out with them, and I realized after a while that they were only kind of asking me questions or trying to get information from me, and then they would kind of leave. So they would ask me real estate questions, money questions, how to do this, how to do that, how to invest in crypto, how to invest in real estate, how to invest in Bitcoin. And then once I had answered their question, they would kind of go, oh gosh, I totally forgot I have to go to yoga. And it was this really big thing because I was giving them so much of my own time at my own expense. Even if I didn't want to go outside, I would still go meet these people because I'm like, they need help in some sort of way. And the people were like, other people told me, well, why are you giving them so much of your time? And it's because I would do anything that I could to help other people at the expense of my own happiness and well-being, because I thought that that's what happiness was, kind of helping other people. This ties directly into it every day. I learned the hard way. This is a big one, is that I don't have to be productive every single day. Everyone I know has told me this for a very long time, but it kind of took hold at the end of last year and more so the beginning of this year. If you've watched my other channel, The Modern Investor, or people call it TMI, I, in 2017 and 2018, was really doing a lot more than I had to. It got to the point where I was actually some days making 2 or 3 videos a day. Not per week. That channel is also like a daily video. So I make a video every single day, but it got to the point where I'd make my video, I'd do what I had to do, I'd edit it, put it online, and I kind of go, well, I'm not doing anything else. So I'd make more and more videos, and then you've probably seen a lot of times I don't have a voice, I can't really talk sometimes, or I sound exhausted or don't sound like myself. It's because it's very, like I said, very personal. A lot of people probably don't know this from the other channel, but I put so much of myself into it, thinking this idea that this is what success is. It's doing all this crazy stuff right now, which to a major extent is true as far as when it comes to, for me, investing. I told you all before in many other videos, I invest an enormous portion of what I make per month into investing. But I also get this money from driving myself to the point of exhaustion just so that I can say that I've been hyper productive. If I try to take a day off, I've tried taking, it sounds crazy in my head, I've tried taking Saturdays and Sundays off from not making videos, and it doesn't really work because I feel like I'm not doing anything, like I'm not being productive. I've had burnout a couple of times. I think I've managed it very well, or better than I thought I would be able to, but you may notice from time to time there may not always be video uploads here or on the other channel. It's because a lot of times I need the rest. And I told myself I didn't need the rest. Why are you taking off on a Saturday or a Sunday? Like, something a lot of you, none of you will know, is that I've had multiple YouTube channels over the years. I've had this one, I had the video game channel, I have the TMI channel. But before that, I was experimenting with other channels. This was around 2013, 14, 15, 16. I can't give you an exact time frame anymore. It was right before I started my eBay business. I was looking for alternative ways to start making money online. So one of the ways that I realized that there was a gap in the market, if you kind of want to use that terminology, was that tons of people were playing video games on YouTube, but they weren't playing mobile games. There were almost no or very few channels that played mobile games. So I had my tablet, started playing mobile games, and was just playing them and uploading them to the actual thing. And I noticed that along the way, the thing that really got the most views is if I was playing really weird and wacky games, i.e., rip-offs of Spider-Man, or this game that kind of, really wacky games didn't really have a purpose, but it made people laugh. So normally, on a normal day, I think around this time I had around 2, 3, 4, 5,000 subs. And I'll explain why in a second. I would have put out a video for like a very popular game for a long time. I was playing maybe Plants vs. Zombies or some other like really popular franchises. And I'd get around 15 views per video. And that's with thousands of subscribers. And I would go, okay. So I started seeing other games popping up in the game store, and I started playing these games. And I realized when I was putting them on, by the end of the day, I had 800 views, 1,500 views for these obscure games. And I was like, okay, this is clearly what people want. So I found all of these games, like a huge section of these nonsense games. And I'd make around, here we go, I was making around 10 videos a day, roughly around anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes long per game. I wanted people to be able to see the game, see what the game was like, have the full experience. And sometimes if the games were actually fun, I'd continue playing them. Doing the math, 10 videos, 15 to 30 minutes long, just staring at a screen will kind of wear you out. These videos were doing great. And it got to the point where I was like, why am I only doing 10? I can do so much more. I sat in the other room. I wish I was half joking. And I sat there one day, I think I just had lunch, and I told myself, let's do it. I made 30 videos that day. And I know it sounds insane, but it's part of the obsession that I have with being successful and making sure, better life, yada, all these other things. If you've ever played, and I'm sure there's some people who can attest to this, if you've ever played video games for a very long time, 6, 4, 5, 7 hours, you start feeling sick, like physically sick, and your brain doesn't tell you exactly what it is because you feel like you're nauseous, your head starts hurting. I remember, so a long time ago, if you ever had like the original old Game Boy and playing Pokemon games, I used to play these games on my way to school, during school, after school, on the bus coming home, and I used to sit there playing this all day, and by like 9 o'clock, I'd forgotten to do my homework, and some of you must have had this feeling. It's a terrible sinking feeling. You feel absolutely horrible. I had this about 10x after making 30 videos that day, and this was me playing the games, recording them, editing them out to making them look, like kind of presentable, making thumbnails. I forgot what all the other things I was doing, but it was the full shebang. By that night, I told myself, just go to sleep, you'll wake up a lot better. I was completely out of commission for a good week. Like I made myself sick. And that was probably one of the more extreme cases of learning the hard way, that I don't have to be always hyper productive. But I think I had a little dip and then kind of went back up, because when it came to the TMI channel, I love my YouTube channels. I love making content, but I also love cryptocurrencies a lot. And if there's some type of new news, I have to get out there and make it, but it usually comes at the expense of my voice, or me being extremely exhausted the next day. So and people were asking why sometimes I take days off. It's because I'm human. I need the rest even when I tell myself that I don't. Third thing, that was only 2 of them. There's a lot of stuff in my life. The third thing is, and this sounds weird, but it is what it is. If it feels or sounds right, do it. This is learning the hard way monetarily. I don't know if I've mentioned this before in another video. When I first started getting into investing, I tried to surround myself with other people who appeared to know what they were doing. And one of my main things was that I got into a situation multiple times, actually. Not to be funny, me and this person are no longer friends just because life. I got into a situation a couple of times where I found myself at the beginning of my investment journey. Sometimes I'd find 2 or 3 bedrooms, and one of them sticks out in my head in particular. I found a 3-bedroom apartment, and I remember I was over the moon. It was in a great area, it was by the river, and I just knew that it would be absolutely amazing. And it was $60,000 to buy it. And my friend told me it was overpriced, it looked like garbage, don't buy it. And I knew for a fact, or rather I had gone over the numbers and just a gut feeling that it was a very good place, but this person convinced me not to do it. And this is why a lot of times I mentioned in other videos, if you go over the numbers and you see that something is correct, do it. Because I've been in multiple situations where I try to think I don't know everything and therefore I can learn from others, which is true. However, a lot of times people have no idea what the heck they're talking about. And I miss out on a lot of these situations where that property right now that I could have got for $60,000 about a good 10 years ago is worth easily $320,000. Not a fake number, I promise you. It's around 6,000 per meter squared right now. And that is one of the things that kind of really stings. I know these are learning experiences as you kind of go along, but it's definitely I learned it too late because I'm pretty sure that place is sold and is not on the market anymore. So that's definitely another one. This one kind of comes to me from all angles, and it couldn't be different things at the exact same time. I have written down, it says, fears and lies from others kind of keep you in your place. I've had people through my life, whether they meant to in a good way or not, who told me, either that other person, not to get into investments because it wasn't worth it, not to get into investments. I remember hearing this a lot when I was younger, not to get into investments or investing or the stock market or into real estate or anything because it was full of crooks and therefore they would take my money. I think it's the fear that they've had when they were growing up or something that might have happened to them that they're trying to not push on to me, but they're trying to give me a word of advice in some sort of way. This also goes into the lies from other people. One of the most important ways that probably will stick in my head for a very long time is when Ethereum first was released. For those of you who don't know what Ethereum is, it's the second largest cryptocurrency after Bitcoin. I remember Ethereum was around 80 cents. People told me not to buy it. It's a scam. I knew it wasn't a scam, but I was like, maybe something is kind of wrong with it. I remember Ethereum hit $1. I still didn't buy it. And Ethereum's currently at the time of me making this video around $320. So you can kind of do the math. If I had put 1,000 into it and got 1,000 Ethereum, I'd have around 320,000 worth of Ethereum. But it's kind of this like, I don't know what it is. It's very difficult to explain. It's a bit of learning the hard way and also learning a bit too late. But I think we need these periods in our life where we go through these mistakes and we learn from these hard lessons that kind of make sure that the next time that we don't fall into the same exact hole. Because if we kept on doing it, that's called insanity. But now I know, and I think I've fine-crafted or fine-tuned my investment strategy because I know what mistakes I've made before. They hurt. However, I know how to kind of get them in line. I mentioned this before in another video as well, and this is really where it applies. Many years ago when I was looking for property in Paris, the first couple of properties I was really looking at, a lot of people told me don't buy studios. This is part of the reason why I am also intrigued by studios, because I know that they are usually cheaper, logically, than 1 or 2 bedrooms. And they usually appreciate very well because a lot of people around the world are always looking to get into live-in studios. When I was in Paris many years ago, I remember visiting tons of studios. And one in particular stands out to me. because it was around 35,000 equivalent, I guess euros, 35,000 euros to actually buy the place. And I told people about it, and they said, no, it's garbage, don't buy it, you don't need it. For those of you who know Paris, it was in the first district, I guess, yeah, no, it was in the first. It was in the area called Les Halles. So it's kind of like the very dead center shopping area. It was on I remember it was on the 6th floor, walking up, spiral staircase, the typical beautiful French thing, but it was on the top floor. It was a studio. It was 35,000 euros, and I didn't buy it because other people were like, no, don't do it. I don't know if it's them, if it's just the fear from them, or if they were just trying to, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've had situations before in my life where people have just lied to me to, I don't know, doesn't really matter. The point is, these studios are now 120,000 euros when it could have been purchased for 35 before. It's a lot of this comes down to monetary stuff. And I promise you, I tried to think before making this video. I wrote a lot of stuff down. A lot of the things in my life that I learned too late or the hard way always came down to money. Some of it came down to friendship, but I mean, we also learned these things along the way. I assume you didn't want to hear about my friendships with people and how they kind of fell apart because of how people are and stuff like that. But especially as this is an investing channel. But it's fascinating to see as time has gone on, the mistakes that I've made or the things that people have told me that I just really kind of block out right now. It's the same exact thing when people continuously tell me on the other channel to buy this altcoin or to look into this coin. This coin is going to be the greatest coin ever. And I tell people, I'm like, watch out, these are probably scams. And then they end up being scams. So I try to make sure to always warn you as well, because scams are going to be quite prevalent. The last thing that I'll talk about, or I mean, I don't want to say the most important, but it's a big one, is to know tax rules. And I say this to all of you because I made the assumption, this is me, that when you do your taxes, you simply give the tax people your numbers. Lo and behold, that's not how it works. So when I first started selling on eBay, how do I'll put this in the quickest way possible. I was selling stuff on eBay. By the end of the year, I think I had sold my first year around $20,000 to $25,000 worth of stuff. And I was like, cool, this is absolutely amazing. This was great for like a side hustle, if you will. Wonderful. Did my taxes. There's an area that said, how much did you make this year? Bam, 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 wrote down the numbers, mailed it in, thinking I'm okay. Nope. Lo and behold, the mistake I made was that after the threshold of, I think, like 12,000 or something like that, I became a business. And as I became a business, I was supposed to have written down every single transaction that happened, i.e. I was supposed to have the information from the country where I sold comics, country from where I sold the comic and or item, because I was also selling shoes in the beginning and stuff like that. Where I got the comic from, how much I sold the comic for, what country it went to, and the applicable like tax bracket that they were in, because there's different taxes depending on where you send your item out to. Imagine my surprise when I didn't know any of that stuff, because I just once again assumed that they just needed all the numbers from everything that I had sold to be written down on a piece of paper. This resulted in me I still have this. This happened in 2016 or 2015, 2014. I'm still penalized. I got penalized where I now, every couple of months, I have to pay like a penalty. It goes towards my actual taxes, but I have to pay around like 600 as I don't know if it's a reminder, if it's a slap on the hand, what it is. As a reminder that I made a mistake and I can't make that mistake again. I'm not half joking either. I think I had to pay my penalty was around 2,000 that I had to pay for not doing my taxes correctly. And now every couple of months I also have to send in money. It's like a whole bunch of different taxes that kind of compile together into this one lump sum that I also have to send off to the actual tax people. It was annoying, as you might have imagined, because here I am thinking I'm doing the right and correct thing by just simply giving them the numbers. Nope, it had to be a completely different way, and it kind of made me realize that I had to restructure everything that I was doing, especially when it comes to all the other little things that I also have been working on. And yeah, it was terrible. Like I wish I could put into actual words how bad it was. I had to find a new tax person. Multiple of them didn't have the time for me, and the one that I did have, I think we filed late or filed to. It was just all a whole bunch of stuff, and then they also had other issues with the money I was making from YouTube, which was also a problem because they didn't believe that I could be making money. It was a lot. It was a lot. So that's probably the strongest thing that I can think of as far as learning the hard way. Just learn the tax code, because the getting a letter saying that I was penalized was fine, but then seeing a number that I had been penalized for was terrible, and also having to remember every couple of months that I have to pay this penalty amount for something that I did years ago is just kind of nonsense. But yeah, I tried to think of other things. I really couldn't think of a lot of them. A lot of them came down to friendships, like I said. And these are kind of the major things. I assume you didn't want a 95-minute video of everything that I've learned the hard way. Like, my mother's like, don't touch fire. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. So I kind of, gave you what I could. I hope you all enjoyed. If you ever have any more questions, if you have any inquiries as to things, ask me in the comment section. I'm always more than happy to answer them. I like the questions that people are proposing. They're quite interesting. There are also a lot of things that I wouldn't normally be talking about, but I think maybe people need to hear these things. Maybe it makes it easier for them going forward. I do hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening. Why am I spinning so much like every 4 seconds in this chair? Great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.